and we have one of those right now. Fred, go ahead. You're on Lex and Terry with John Phillips. Go ahead, dude.
Hey, thank you. My son just started as a freshman in Jacksonville at a college. He was out rolling around in his car, and he came back on campus with a friend. They got caught with a light out on their tail. Campus police gave him a notice to appear for possession of a gram of marijuana and possession of paraphernalia. And I'm getting a little nervous about going into Duval County Court on his later this month, and I just need some advice.
Call me. No, I'm in Jacksonville, and it's
Yes, sir.
you don't necessarily want to face that alone. It sounds like they got him pretty dead to rights. It just depends on whose stuff it was, but if it was in the car, they can tag it on anybody just about. So there's some issues there. It depends on who the judge is. As to if you give me a call, I can at least give you an idea of who the judge is and how what to expect.
Okay.
But generally the first appearance is provided this is just the arraignment is guilty, not guilty, and no contest. The state will make an offer, usually pretty
Right.
quick, and they'll let you know how where they stand. But it's invariably a better offer with a lawyer, and there's some very good criminal defense lawyers in Jacksonville.
All right, Fred.
Okay, and that's
hang
what I
on,
wanted to
man.
know. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, he's gone. All right, he'll call him. All right. Sarah, line one, if you could get that guy's number, please. Is she even there?
Yeah, she's here. She's working on it.
Sorry, yeah, I just texted Ian. I said, am I supposed to get that guy's number?
Yes.
Yes.
I will
I
text you
miss
back.
you guys. I like being there. It's just seeing your pretty morning faces.
We're pretty sexy. We really are. I don't know if you know this. Everybody knows this, but we are pretty sexy. Okay,
Lex
maybe
doing
not.
push-ups during the commercial breaks.
I know. Lex is, and D and Sarah actually go out and run stairs now during the commercial breaks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Get our heart rate pumping.
Trying to Lex, which one do you like? We got a wide range of just screw ups up there.
Let's try number 10. It's pretty common. Maybe it could help a lot of people.
All right, go ahead there, Bobby.
Hey, guys. I was curious. I've had a fantasy for a long time with my wife, and she might make it a reality and get a boyfriend. And I was wondering, as far as the legal ramifications, if she ever wanted to leave me for this guy or ended up impregnated by him. I don't think it'll happen, but I mean, I live in Oklahoma, so I don't know the alimony laws and stuff or how I'll be,
So let me get this straight. You have some weird sexual fantasy where you want your wife to have a boyfriend, but you don't want her to leave you for the guy or get pregnant.
Basically.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. So I want to
Wow. And you think this
freaky
applies
ass bitch.
broadly, Terry?
Back to you, John. Have fun with that one.
Anytime, this is one I got to stall and think about for a second. This is anytime anybody repeats. Here's a little advice for you. Anytime somebody repeats the question, they're stalling and lying, or anytime they, chances are whatever's going to come out of their mouth next is a lie, especially if they repeat the question. So let me repeat the question.
Nice.
No, essentially, it's a bad idea. I mean, if you're going into a situation like this that is problematic, you're throwing any family law, alimony, all that out the window. I mean, you're going to have to deal with the consequences on the backside, whatever happens. If you want to get an anti-nuptial, basically a prenup but already married agreement, just in case. That's one way to address it, but that's going to be a real deal breaker. Hey, by the way, before we have this threesome or whatever, however you're going to do it, we need to address our marital situation. But that's the responsible thing to do. And you're going to have. I recommend against it, but if it's that important to you, go for it, and you're just going to have to call me in 2 months when I'm doing this again on Lex and Carey, and we'll address it at that point.
Good luck, Bobby, you freak.
Jesus.
Oh, my God.
I love you guys. This is just so much fun.
But I love it. That's fun, though. I mean, this is like Lex said. People actually are out there doing this type of stuff. Most people just have sex. They don't have to wait. But nowadays, before you actually have sex with somebody, you should actually have an attorney by your side the whole time. I understand the reason why he's doing that, actually. Believe it or not, as convoluted as the situation is and weird, I understand why he wants to reach out and make sure he's legally covered.
Yeah, the prenup idea sounds, or the situational agreement idea sounds like the way to go. Let's go to Selena.
Yes, I have a question. My mother had a bone broken in her leg, and then the doctor continued to manipulate to get it in place. And on the ninth time of manipulation, him and his assistant broke my mother's foot, which cut the circulation off. And he knew what he had done, and he, instead of sending her to the hospital, he sent her back to where she was at, and her foot, there was no blood flow, started to die. And another doctor overheard him talking and decided to take the case over. And they've all hidden the fact. They've never told her what he had done, and they made up some other story of what it was from. And I can't seem to find anyone to help me, an attorney. And I've got proof. I've got all the records. I've got the x-rays. Somebody even sent me a report, a PACS report, anonymously in case that we didn't know that this had happened. And she's had 5 surgeries because of this.
What state?
Florida.
Okay. Again, Florida is a difficult medical malpractice state, but there's clearly breach of standard of care. It sounds like this you're bordering on that egregious. Where you've got a chiropractor prescribing hydrocodone and it causes injury, or you've got somebody doing things 9 times that they can't get right. Time 2, maybe you call in somebody more qualified. So lawyers are definitely afraid of medical malpractice because the first step is getting an expert to testify against that doctor, and doctors don't want to do affidavits against doctors. But there's something going on there, and I'd be happy to have Fadi.
Everything, all the proof.
All right. Hang on.
We'll have.
God, they're pit bull. Jesus.
I don't know how you attorneys do your job. I really don't. Everybody just thinks they're right, no matter what.
You like people, hearing people. I ultimately, at the end of the day, if I feel like I made the world a better place. I've already gotten a tweet about the tuberculosis restaurant in Jacksonville. They were like, I hope, that I didn't go to that place. I said, no, we made some phone calls and took care of it. But, you don't run to the news. We try to make the world a little better place and make it a little safer. There's tons of ambulance chasers out there, and there's, the big firms raising insurance races and all that. But,
All right. Well, we got your. We don't have any more calls. We have them all lined up there and ready to go. But that's what happens, man. You come on the show and the phone lines blow up. 866-977-3687. But before we let you go, we know you also represent, some NFL players, as an agent and things like that. This Jonathan Vilma thing, what is going on with all that now? Do you know? Where is John?
He's gone.
How'd that happen?
I don't know.
His phone was on lockdown.
That's too bad. That was like a beautiful segment. A really nice setup by you. What a big waste.
There he is.
All right.
How the hell did that happen? I did not do that.
I don't know.
All right.
I didn't do it.
Now, so John, this Jonathan Vilma thing going on. What do you know about all that?
It's a train wreck. Essentially it was the whole bounty scandal, and Roger Goodell decided to make him a scapegoat. Then he's not a scapegoat. Then he's a scapegoat. Roger doesn't know what he's doing. And, he knows what he's doing, but he can't get a handle, in his mind, he can't get a handle on how to handle this suspension. And he's realized now that, he's crippled the Saints with the Sean Payton thing. And because you just can't take the head coach away and throw in somebody else for a year. But it looks like he's, on the off again, on again scenario. He's on again, and now, despite the coach that was the head of all this being suspended indefinitely, he's allowed to attend games. Sean Payton can attend games as long as he, I think, sends it in a pink email to Goodell. I mean, it's all.
Well, Vilma's saying he's playing Sunday now. He says
Right,
he's playing because of this appeal and all kinds of crap.
I hear he is, and that's the problem is the appeal is going to go right back before Roger Goodell unless he can somehow squeeze it into an arbitration. But then the arbitration board is stacked with their guys, so it's just
And
it's an
how
unfortunate situation.
How can Vilma play? I mean, he can't practice, can he?
Yeah, I mean the way that it's come down by the league is that he's back on the team again.
Okay.
So
right.
it's until Roger Goodell somehow figures out how to handle it legally, because when Vilma and those guys came out saying that Roger Goodell should recuse himself because he's biased and prejudiced and all of that, that was that's a pretty big shot across the bow. So I think Roger's trying to make sure he does this one right.
So we only got about a little over a minute left. Do you have any insight on the Jags? I'm trying to decide who I want to bet on this week.
Yeah, we can talk about it later date, but they've just got an awful situation that was created by the general manager. They spend the third most in the NFL on offense, more than the Saints, more than the Giants. People don't realize that the Jags tend to spend less, but they spend the third most in the NFL, and they're getting they're 32nd. So they've just got a mess on the roster. They've only got 26 of the 53 players they drafted left on the roster. It's just they only have 2 players from Gene Smith's area in rounds 5 through 7, when those are the Tom Brady types that are supposed to develop. So it's got a mess.
The Raiders are going to kick ass then. Is that what you're saying?
It's very possible. I hope the home team does it, but
they suck.
It's a mess.
Well, John, thanks for your time, man. We appreciate it. We'll do it again here in a little while. And of course, you could get a hold of John at knowthelawyer.com, KNOW, idiots.
Yeah, great to be on with you guys. If anybody didn't get their questions answered, feel free to shoot me an email. We'll work on them this morning.
All right, dude, thanks. In the meantime, we'll be right back. We